Welcome to Supplement 7B. We're going to calculate landed cost. So in this overall discussion of logistics, we want to basically walk through the idea that we have more than material cost that we're buying. We need to know what it costs to land the materials into our facility. And we'll walk through a couple of fairly simple examples of that. So landed cost is the cost of a product plus all costs driven by logistics activities such as transportation, warehousing, handling, customs fees, packaging, etc. The reason for the etc. on the end is because we can incur cost anywhere, and some unique goods have unique costs that go along with them, and we need to model whatever the relevant and complete costs are that we need to consider in sourcing and properly costing our products. So here is an example. We're going to do two examples. This is Dirty Carl. Dirty Carl, friend of mine when I was a kid. His favorite place to buy shrimp is in New Orleans at the Cajun Seafood Market on Claiborne, and he never hesitated to stock up on shrimp whenever he could. Sadly, it was 685 miles one way to visit the market, and even though gas was available at $1.88 per gallon, and the car achieved 25 miles per gallon, it was an expensive and lengthy trip. Therefore, he bought the cheapest plane ticket he could find, the $2.99 round trip, and packed a cooler with $12 of ice. The shrimp cost $7.99 per pound for jumbos, and he managed to fit 35 pounds of the crustaceans, those are the shrimp, in the cooler. What is Carl's landed cost for a pound of shrimp? So what you need to be able to do when you look at a story problem like this is to extract the relevant information and to avoid the irrelevant information. I gave you a lot of information up here about the drive, right? And so it's to cause you to think and consider and to put your filter on, because I immediately then said he bought the cheapest plane ticket he could find at $2.99. Those obviously would be double dipping, as we say, double counting, if we counted them both. He never made the drive. So you ignore these miles and miles per gallon in this particular case, right? And you look at the $2.99. So what I encourage students to do is to look at all the fixed costs that are incurred here in the trip, and we could list those out. There's going to be $2.99 for a plane ticket and $12 worth of ice. And then to look at the variable costs and total that up. $7.99 per pound for 35 pounds. Right, so we can bundle that into a group. There's different ways to get the answer, but we can bundle that into a group and come up with these numbers. So the $2.99 plus the $12 is $311 for travel and ice, right? And it's $7.99 a pound and 35 pounds. We have $279.65 worth of shrimp, the cost of the shrimp. We can add the $311 and the $279 and see our total cost, our complete investment, and we can amortize that per pound, since the question is, what is the cost of shrimp for a pound of shrimp? We got to back it back down then and say, okay, divided by the 35 pounds, the total cost is going to be $16.88 per pound of shrimp landed. Okay, so you can get there a couple of different ways. You could just take the $2.99 and the $12, the $311, and divide that by 35, and then add $7.99, and you'd be at the same place. So you can build it all the way up and then knock it down the whole by 35, or you can build up part of it and just add the $7.99. You'll get the same answer. Here's another example. Okay, and I would encourage students to go back and maybe pause the video, or maybe you pause it right now and just put this equation together in your mind. That's what will prepare you for the exams. So I'm going to show you how to walk through this, but I would encourage you to pause right now, solve it yourself, and then see how you did. Okay, so Heather likes to go up and buy apples. Harry's Orchard near Traverse City. And every fall, okay, those Honey Crisps, I love them, I know. They're ripe about the third week of September. And anyway, she runs up there to Harry's every fall in late September, and but it's about 245 miles one way to visit Harry's. And gas is $1.88 per gallon, 25 miles to the gallon. Sounds familiar, right? And so it's an expensive trip. This year, she purchases 10 packing crates for $4 each. And each of the 10 crates for each of the 10 crates of apples she's going to bring home. The apples are a bargain. It's $7.99 per bushel, and 1 bushel fits into each crate. So she's buying 10 bushels of apples, and they're going in 10 crates. And the bushel of apples in each crate weighs 25 pounds, not counting the weight of the crate. So it's 25 pounds of apples per bushel. What is the landed cost of a pound of apples? Now, hopefully you took my advice and you already solved this, so we're just going to validate that you did it correctly. So we'll shrink down this part of the equation and start walking through it. So the transportation at 245 miles times 2, because she's got to get home, needs to be divided by the 25 miles per gallon to get to the number of gallons needed, and then multiplied times $1.88 to get to the cost of the fuel. So we're just costing the fuel. We're not talking about wear and tear on her brakes and all this other stuff that we know is real, but it's not in the equation, so we're not counting it. $36.84 is what she's going to spend on fuel for the round trip. Per crate of apples, her cost is $4 for a crate plus $7 for a bushel, right? And that means she's paying $11 for a crated bushel of apples. That's cheap. That's why she's driving all the way up there. That's a great price. For 10 crates of apples, she's got the $11, right, times 10 crates. It's $110 that she's investing in the materials and the packaging. Materials and packaging. So the total cost is basically this $36.84 in gas to get her up and back, and the $110 for the apples in the crates. So she comes to a total cost of $146.84. The total pounds of apples is 25 pounds per bushel times 10 bushels, 250 pounds of apples total. So we've got our total cost and we've got our total pounds, and we're starting to drive for the basket here now, right? Landed cost per pound of apples, the $146.84, the total cost, all in, divided by the 250 pounds of apples, is 59 cents per pound. That's a great price. You can pay up to $4 at Kroger's for these Honeycrisp apples. So good job, Heather. And I hope good job to you for solving it correctly. If not, go back and review it and pause the video and put together the equation so you're thinking through how to do this. You know, that when you see something like this in real life or in an exam, that you've trained your mind how to put that equation together. And that ends our video.